Determination to change the nation, I'm manifesting the truth. Back in the booth to give you the messages that's been channeling right through me. No, I'm not Jesus, although my spirit is great. I'm eating my food without a plate, escaping this place through my meditations. New life begun when I reloaded the gun and realized where I was from was not too far from the sun, like somewhere close by the moon. Now I'm connected like Zoom. On walks of life that ever lived call me like out of the blue. So I just pass it to you, right through your speakers with clues. And if you choose to free your mind, then you will have all the tools. But I can't make you take it and shake it and mentally break yourself out. Cause freeing your mind without a doubt is something you have to try out. But once you see the light, your might, and all the power you've had, then you have reached the fifth dimension and you can brighten your path. But others who choose to follow the red pills, it's harder to swallow. Or you can wallow in your sorrows, feeling all empty and hollow. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you, to you.
Yo, yo, yo. Good evening. How y'all doing today? Man, 20 people already, so y'all ready for the action. So, yeah, today I'm finally going to say or talk about how you doing, Miss Wanda? What's going on, brother? Yeah, we're finally going to talk about who me and my brother Jahid Shabazz, we've been pondering over these candidates. Hey, Michelle. And, we had a good evening, Gail. We had a deep conversation the other day when me and him was in Lincoln this week. And we just really talked about the candidates, what they bring to the table. Hey, Iris. Hey, Lakeisha. And what the people in District 2 that we feel like needs to be done in District 2. And so we decided today was the day that both of me and him collectively was going to announce, like, basically who we think. We're not going to talk about the people who we're not supporting, because we're not giving nobody that we're not supporting any attention. We want to make sure that we are only talking about the people who we think is the right person for District 2. And we've been able to narrow it down to 3. And we're going to go in that order, 3, 2, 1, like that. Okay. So yeah, first I just want to say thank you to the 22 people that done jumped on. What's going on, Peyton and Michelle? Building this show has been a task in itself. And I notice the more I do it, we're definitely getting a lot of viewers, but then we have a lot of people who don't really click in to watch. They watch it afterwards, which is fine with me. And I feel like, well, I know that since we continuously is putting in the work, a lot of times people want to know our opinions on things. And so that's why, for one, I know we got the right to speak on it, because we do a lot of stuff, and not by elected, and we're not getting paid for it. It's just out of the love for the people. And so before we get into the District 2, somebody calling me, but it's too late now. I have to deny that. Before we get into that, I do want to bring on my wife and daughter. Hey, Carmela, because we want to make sure y'all know what's going on this summer. There they go right there. Hey. This summer, oh man, you probably can't see that. Okay. It's a
little bright.
Yep, Group Builds Community in North Omaha. That's us. Okay. And we on our way back. And that's the 20 weeks of summer fun. featuring Island Chill. We'll be hosting 20 weeks, feeding the community real meals every Sunday from 4 to 7 at our new home church, Assembly of the Saints. And it's going to be a beautiful thing because at the Assembly of the Saints, they have the weight room. They have for you so you can lift some weights, get your muscle up. Got the podcast room, a classroom setting, an art gallery, a barbershop. We'll have volunteer barbers there taking donations for haircuts. And man, it's going to be beautiful every Sunday. Real meals, not fake meals, hot dogs and stuff, but we're going to have real meals to feed the community in the 6811 zip code 20 weeks in a row. So mamas, if you're living in that area or if you want to come down to that area, you can not cook on Sundays because we're going to have the fresh hot meals. And we actually got 2 chefs that'll be cooking the meals this year. My son is one of them and one of the brothers from the church. Mm-hmm. So I want to give Kachelle and Shamyla a chance to just talk about the excitement of that's coming up. And yeah, y'all go ahead and do your thing.
Go ahead. 20 weeks. Well, during the 20-week program, I actually do miss it, miss the engagement with the parents as well as the kids. So, and the fun activities. And I'm so excited to see what is to come for this season. And so I can't wait to see y'all.
Mm-hmm. Super excited. Yeah, it's gonna be different activities for us to do. Still gonna be doing those guest speakers, and then like he said, still having those good nutritious foods every Sunday. So you don't gotta cook on Sundays. Summer Sundays from 4 to 7. So it'll be my brother and then one of our people from the church. Yep.
And resources for the community as well. So make sure y'all come and see us. We love to see y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have people in the gym monitoring the kids that do want to work out. I think Brother Trent Tucker is one of the guys that's going to be in the gym pumping the iron and making sure the kids is getting proper workout. And also we'll have a lot of mental health things going on there because we want to address that. So free mental health discussions. We'll have professionals there. And this is something to help stimulate the community for one, but also create a safe environment to gather every Sunday so we can get to talking to each other and get to know each other. So before we get into the District 2 candidates, Shamyla wanted to talk about the importance of, young people getting out to vote.
Yeah, so I can be honest. I honestly wasn't very involved locally with voting. But now since this past year or two, us being involved, I actually just looking at it and then just making sure we have the great person to represent North Omaha is big for me. And also just really using your voice definitely for the younger generations, because this will be the person that will represent us in our future. So this is definitely big, and we have to make sure that we all go out and vote. Just because you definitely have the right to vote, you should just definitely exercise that right. And it's also some people that don't have the opportunity to vote, like incarcerated people, and then also just thinking about the younger people before us. This will impact them as well. So just making sure we have the voice for them, our babies, and then just for ourselves as well.
Right. It's very important to go out and vote, not even just for our elders, but please, our young people, please, please, please get out and vote, because it is very, very, very important for you to do that, to be the voice of the younger generation as well as yourself. So please get out and vote.
Very, very important.
April 1st. The local elections is April 1st. That's this Tuesday, if you didn't know. The location, Miss Jefferson, is 4224 North 24th Street, Assembly of the Saints, where the Saints assemble. And on the side of that building, you got the mural that Miss Buffy keeps and maintains. So that's where we'll be at, building North Omaha. And the reason why I like to show this article is because it says group builds community in North Omaha. Well, this particular group, which is us, happened to be the descendants of Vivian Strong, and her death was what destroyed 24th Street in our business district because people were so upset that they allowed this cop to kill a young girl and get away with it. We had a race riot and they never rebuilt it. Okay. And here we talking about 1969 is 2025. So the reason why, even more importantly, for us to vote, because we need somebody in city council that's going to actually direct dollars to 24th Street and finally get our district looking like Benson, like Blackstone, like downtown, where we can walk up and down the street and enjoy ourselves. See what I'm saying? So
Right.
and I appreciate both of y'all coming on today. I know y'all got some runs to make. But I know the people always want to see y'all pretty face. Let's just do another solo layout. There they go. All right, y'all. I'm gonna bring Jahi on, but again, make sure y'all get out and vote. And then engage with us this summer, starting in June, first Sunday of June. We'll have our first kickoff for this 20 weeks of Untamed community engagement. Untamed, unified
from 4
nation.
to 7.
Yes.
See y'all there.
Unified nation taking action, mentally erasing deception. That's what we do.
That's right.
All right, y'all. See y'all in a little bit.
All right, see ya.
All right. So there go my brother Jahi. Absolutely. I was in those riots. Yes, Miss Jefferson. Yes. So, man, Jahi, we here to talk about it. You know, the yin and the yang. We didn't say who we voting for yet, Michelle Moreno. We about to kick it off right now. We just brought brother Jahi on the screen so we can just briefly discuss these candidates. And like I said, we're gonna do 3, 2, 1. And starting with number 3. Number 3, I think because this person is already a voice in the community, right? Already speaking on issues. He actually got moved out of his building. I don't know if y'all know, and I'm gonna put his business out there. He was in a building owned by Mr. Maroney. And anytime we had issues and he had to speak on it, it was always threats of putting him out. Matter of fact, they ended up calling the police on this brother as he was moving out on his last day. That's what they did. And he called and told me that. And I was really upset that they did that. But the brother still stood strong. He moved to his own place and now he has a free voice. And the reason why we think he's number 3 on this thing is because I know 100% he is 100% North Omaha. He always talk about growing up in the projects. His mama couldn't read or write. And this brother 100%, like when I am doing things in the community, he invites me on his show. He highlights young people on the show. When Mr. Blake was missing, he brought his kids on. He brought Mr. Blake's kids on the show. And he allowed them to have all the time they wanted to talk about their father. And so I definitely respect this brother. And actually, that brother to me is like a brother. And so our third person that we think is a viable candidate for District 2 is Brother William King. That's right, Brother William King. We think he is a stand-up brother. And like I said, the main reason is because this brother is 100% North Omaha, the boss. That's right. Always focus on North Omaha. I mean, he loves his neighbors. He got women Wednesdays. And you know, I sound just like him, right? You got to get a little stutter in there. But you know, Will is one of them dudes, man. Even when he was facing that adversity in that building where they felt like they tried to shut him up, he still moved and then he still speaks on it. So he is definitely a voice. He always talking about the issues in the community. And I think if he was to get in this seat, he would always talk to us as a community first to see what we need, what he thinks we need, before he would make any rash decisions. And we love this brother. So, I mean, and all the people running, they all right. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not going to speak on the people that we're not supporting, but I think that William, there's no question that he 100% is for North Omaha. And I would never doubt what he got to say about North Omaha. And I wouldn't doubt that his agenda would be 100% North Omaha. What about you, Jahi?
Definitely, man. He is one of the major qualifications we need to look at, man, is sincerity. Do you really care about the community? You know, he's definitely one of them, man. Can you hear me, brother? Sherman.
My bad. Man. So you said what?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's sincere, man, and he's actually been one of the few that has a free radio station.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not being controlled.
Right.
And he's always kept his radio waves open to the community, brother. Everybody. Even people like us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he do let us come on there and we speak freely over his radio waves, and he also allows us to voice our opinions and concerns in the community, update the people on what we're doing. And for that, I think he's already shown that if he was to get in that seat, he would 100% be for North Omaha. That's no doubt. And that's exactly what we need. A North Omahaan with a North Omaha agenda. That's it.
Right. And but also, man, there would be a learning curve though too as well.
Yeah.
I think for him in that seat.
Yeah.
But far as sincerity and leadership and love for the community, definitely a great candidate for us, man, to
Absolutely.
take that position.
Absolutely. And so I think that, really when it come down to it, since it's 9 people running, I would like to see, since it's all these people with all this passion, right? Don't fade away when the race is over. If you got all the passion now, we want to see all that passion even if you lose. And we want to see all that passion even if you lose and you got to support the other candidate.
Right. So who's your number 2?
Man, my number two is, oh man, here we go. I would say the number 2 person that we have, let's stop that screen and present a new one. I would say the number 2 person for me is Brother Mike Lee. That's my number 2 guy. Mike Lee has worked on Terrell McKinney's campaign. He's been out there with Ashley Spivey's campaign. I talk to him quite often on things that I'm doing in the community. And I think he is like the yin to the yang. When I'm in there or Jahi is in there, Mike Lee can come in and just kind of smooth it over and make a little more sense with some politics. But he knows the function of politics, and he's a young guy. So if we got Mike Lee in there, it would be a longevity type thing, But me personally, what I would like to see Mike Lee do, I don't know if y'all know, but after this 4 years is up, we lose our brother Terrell McKinney, y'all. He's out of there. No more Senator McKinney because of these term limits. And this is who I would like to see take that seat. I would like to see Mike Lee take that Senate seat. I'm sorry, I know I'm 4 years early, but that's what I would like to see. Because Mike Lee understands politics, and he is going to be 100% for North Omaha. He's not somebody that just popped up out of nowhere. We've been seeing him doing the work and grinding hard politically, okay? And so, Jahi, what you got to say about Mike Lee?
I like Mike Lee. One thing about Mike Lee is he's got a winning record, man.
Come on.
He got Terrell in there. He got Sister Ashley Spivey in there. So he's got a winning record, man. And I like his I like his maturity for his age and his awareness for his age. So we got a lot of he's got a lot of potential long term for the community, man. I really like him as a candidate, and I like him personally. You know, um, I think I think him going to filling in Terrell's spot would be good as well, brother, because he helped him get in that spot.
Yeah, yeah, he did help him, and like Heather said, she liked him as well. She liked what he had to say on First Sky interview. Yeah, because ultimately it's gonna come down to whoever you decide. But I think it's important for me and Jahi to just let y'all know who we think and why, because it's 9 people to pick from, and there's a lot of smoke and cloud and mirrors going on. And I want the people to be as informed as possible. If you value my opinion or Jahi's opinion, then this is why we're doing this. And if you live in District 2, and so yeah, that's our number 2 guy right there.
Yeah, I like him, man. I think that not just him, but a lot of our people are automatically putting on the Democratic hat.
Mm-hmm.
My issue with it is not that they put on the hat, but the fact that they don't understand they're just wearing a hat. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you wear the hat, you wear the suit. The suit or the hat doesn't wear you. You know, for example, if you look at the people who call themselves Jews, they have people who are wearing the Republican hat. Some of them are wearing the Democratic hat, and some of them are even independents. But what they all understand is they're just wearing a hat, and they're all Jews.
Right.
And then they get together in the Knesset, and they make sure that policy benefits their group collectively. Just
Right.
still wearing a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The problem with us is the Democratic Party, brother, has become a liberal plantation.
Right.
Okay. And the Democratic Party for the last 60 plus years have skull dragged our women. Okay. They have indoctrinated us with socially engineered destructive programs that are anti-family, anti-God,
Mm-hmm.
anti-us. Okay. And they always make us water carry for other groups.
Right.
Okay? And then they create legislation, civil rights legislation, or social justice legislation. Okay, they use us to create it. They use us as the batting ram. They use us as a doormat, and then they roll over the benefits to another group.
Absolutely.
They roll it over to the Latinos. They roll it over to white women.
Mm-hmm.
They roll it over to the LBGT community. They roll over all these benefits to other groups.
Right.
Okay. So my whole issue with us, man, is not that we get in the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or any of these parties. We need to understand that we're just wearing their hat.
Yeah.
And then when we go to the public center, we go to the public center for our collective group interest only,
That's it.
with no apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my whole issue with us with the Democratic. I call them the Democrats. They're demons to me.
Yeah.
Okay, they have been whoring out our votes and have been exploiting us and destroying us, brother. Going on 67, 68 years straight. I can show you the numbers.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why in this race it's supposed to be nonpartisan. And like he said, you can wear the hat, but we need you to stay focused on the issues of North Omaha. And so we got Luis in the comments talking about Jones for Omaha. But the problem with you, Luis, is you work for Mr. Jones, so your comment don't matter. Okay, thanks. We're not taking comments from employees. All right. This is about the community, not an employee. Hi, Clarice. And so our next person that we're looking at for District 2, the number one person. And there's a reason, and I'm gonna show you. Here we go. Share screen. The window. Bam. Cheryl Weston, the sleeper. She popped in at the last minute. Now let me explain something to you. Miss Weston actually was not gonna run. We tried to get her to run for a long time. Everybody kept asking her. They was asking me, and I decided not to run because I can't sit still in that seat on Tuesdays. I could barely stand those people. They sweaty, they slimy, and yeah, I couldn't stand that. And so Miss Weston, she decided to run 3 days before she needed 100 signatures, and she got the 100 signatures in 3 days. And the thing about Miss Weston is, if you have been in North Omaha in the community, it's not my fault that y'all not paying attention to what's been happening and who's been advocating for North Omaha behind closed doors. That's not my fault, okay? She didn't pop up out of nowhere. She's been doing this stuff. And I just want to show you briefly. This was 3 years ago. And yeah, like I said, it's not her popping up out of nowhere. This is her already doing it. Okay. I'm gonna just fast forward it a little bit.
North Omaha District
This is her.
constituent and activist. I am asking the city council to vote no
Time
today.
out. This is her at city council when y'all was all going to the club and sleeping, and the mayor was trying to get Ben Gray after he just lost the race. They wanted to put Ben Gray on the land bank as a voting member, which would have decided on some of the property in North Omaha, and we didn't want him representing District 2. So who showed up with all the facts and the paperwork?
On the appointment of Ben Gray.
That man dropped the bomb on me. She was dropping bombs on him that whole time.
As to serve as a voting member and representative for District 2 on the board of directors for the Omaha Municipal Land Bank. And I think it's very important that we realize that this is serving as a voting member for District 2. Mr. Gray has had his opportunity to serve as a representative for District 2.
Woo! So when y'all get some time, y'all can go back and look at that, okay? And here, see, this ain't no one-off stuff. And I'm not discriminating on age, sex. I don't care, elder, young. That stuff don't matter to me, okay? It's about who has been already doing the work, and she ain't been getting paid, but she already been doing the work. Here's another thing right here. Mr. Gray had his opportunity to serve for District 2. And this community wants new leadership. Okay. All right. This is her in the reader. Let's go to the next one. All right. Here's another screen of Miss Weston popping out for us because she's working on environmental justice. That's right. The coal plants. She tired of us breathing in this terrible air, and she's been doing this for years. This is Miss Weston. Now, it's not my fault that you ain't been paying attention to what's been going on around here, but I have. And who I see already doing the work is Cheryl Weston. Not just talking about it, showing up at city council, pre-council. Anybody know what a pre-council is? It's when they talk about what they're going to talk about. She goes to those. The agenda comes out on Thursdays. She has the agenda emailed to her every Thursday and comb through that email every Thursday. Social justice and advocacy, featuring who? Cheryl Weston. City Hall feud, longtime North Omaha advocate, leaves the podium after addressing the Omaha City Council February 27th, talking about the biggest loser in the ongoing feud between Mayor Gene Stothert and Councilwoman Juanita Johnson. Okay? her talking about us losing because them two was arguing. Again, it ain't my fault you ain't been paying attention to what's been going on. Here we go again. Miss Weston, what's she doing? Addressing the African North Omaha leaders is addressing the Nebraska African American Affairs Commission that was in operation for 4.5 years and got money and ain't been doing nothing in the community. Who showed up to address them? Go look at the video. Oh, it was bad. She checked them. Okay. Here's another one. Miss Weston talking about the 6-1 climate action plan that city council was working on, and they still voted 6-1 against it. But who showed up at city council? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, there she go, getting up to go to the seat, to the podium to talk again. Sherman Weston. Okay. All right. Okay, let me stop that one. I can stop that one. Let's go to this next one. What's this? Weston, the North Omaha activist, said OHA should be more transparent with its filings. If it's an outright lie, she said, you're putting in it that you're evicting me for non-payment. Let's talk about what it should be. You know what? Because OHA was evicting people without telling them and then sending them to court knowing they didn't have no legal representation and just kicking them out. And who showed up to say something? Sherman Weston. Because those was elders and people who feared retaliation. They didn't know who to turn to. And I was part of this thing too, because I was down there with them on OHA neck about the mistreatment, the conditions of the towers. She was right there. None of these other candidates that's running was doing this stuff. Okay. So this is not about me talking about bad about them. What I'm saying is we have to put our feelings aside and our personal feelings and people who work for candidates, Luis. We ain't talking about who you work for. We talking about who has been working for North Omaha all these years. Oh, here's another one about the Inland Port Authority. A brief discussion during the meeting about LB 290 prompted questions from North Omaha activist Sherman Weston. What is it? What is the plan for the business park? And why can't it be clear? None of y'all was there trying to figure out what they doing with that money. Who was there? Jahi and me and Sherman Weston. Okay. And then if you look at her YouTube page, she has a YouTube page where she's always talking about issues and highlighting other people in the community. Sweet meats, dreams, desserts. I mean, right there. Right. Good news for North Omaha. A segment with Preston Love. Here she is talking to Jasmine Harris. Integrity and she was actually did a thing with LaVanya Goodwin. Okay. She's not a hater. She's talking to everybody. Talking about education in Douglas County. There, and look who's on there with her. Me. Okay. She spoke to Anthony Rogers Wright. All right. This woman is not a hater. Okay. She spoke with the NAACP. Talked about record number for early voting. Okay. Here's another one about the agenda for city council. Another video about teaching us how to follow the money in city council. Okay. All right. Justice for Cameron Ford. Okay. All right. Another video about city council, the agenda and what we need to be looking out for. Here's another video about the agenda and what we need to be looking out for. Speaking with the pastors, speaking with OHA about the Iowa attorney who took the lawsuit to file against OHA for bed bugs. Okay. We're not talking about somebody who just popped up out of nowhere. Okay. We're talking about somebody who has been working for us, even though we ain't been paying attention. She's been there. Land Bank, Port Authority, getting on Joni about the way she treating people. Look at this, even supporting Shamari and his group. The backstabbers of the land bank. Okay. I don't think I need to continue. I mean, it's plain as day who has been working for the people behind the scenes. And it's only behind the scenes to people who ain't been paying attention. And Louise talking about what's wrong with compensation for services rendered. What's wrong with it is you're offering opinion on your job. We're not talking about your job. We're talking about North Omaha. And that don't include you, okay? And if you keep talking, I'm gonna block you because you don't represent nothing in North Omaha. You're a worker for a campaign. All right. You're a worker, Luis. And we're not talking about Maurice because, like I told you, I'm only talking about the people who we talking about that we're supporting. So, yeah, your opinion means nothing. And when I see you in person, I can tell you that your opinion means zero. Okay?
I think, brother, the point that you're making is, like me, I don't eat food that's not real. Okay. So we have a lot of people who are running, who are candidates. They're not organic. You still on here, my brother?
I'm still there.
Okay.
I just gave you the screen.
And what we have is we have GMO hoes, okay? Genetically modified whores who masquerade as our leaders.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's the problem. And that's what I like about Cheryl is she's organic.
Very from the heart.
She's organic and she's not paid for.
Right. Hey, camera.
You know, a lot of them people, man, brother, somebody can cut them a check and they be in a closed room with those people and they cut them checks. They'll be in that power seat and they will work against us like they always do.
Right.
Like they always do. And so, yeah, she's one of the most organic ones. And not only that, brother, she has the acumen to navigate the system. The city council has a system too. Okay. And that's something else that we have to make a proper assessment of. Can individuals actually do what the job requires?
Absolutely.
Do they have the intellectual capacity? Do they understand the system itself that they have to plug into and then benefit us after they plug into that system?
Right.
You know, I don't like bringing up other people's names and all that, but
absolutely not.
But we had a process where we had an individual in there and they decided to put on a leash and be a corporate rubber stamper. Okay. And as a result of that, they were no longer organic and they became basically the power structure's conduit.
Absolutely.
Not
and if
our
you
leader.
Want to know who we're talking about, go to Anthony the Mayor Kellogg's post and look at what he posted today. Okay, look at the video he posted today, the live about this same person he talking about. We're not gonna mention his name, but he ran into this person at Salem, and this person cussed him out in the church and stormed out. This is one of your candidates, okay?
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing cursing in the church?
Come on, man.
Okay, gangsters don't do that.
No.
Okay. So there's some issues there. There's some psychological underpinnings that's going on there.
Ooh, Jakeem, look at Jakeem. He said, sounds like. It's a damn shame when you already know based off just a brief description.
Right. What? And not only that, brother, to me, that's an indicator that you haven't changed.
You haven't.
And there's no reflection upon what you did wrong, and therefore there's no amends for what you did wrong. So you will do that same wrong again. You're gonna double down on wrong, and you're gonna hurt us if we put you in that power seat. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. We don't need people, brother, that it don't matter how much we like them personally.
No.
Okay, we can like them personally. You know what I mean, brother? I got family members I love, brother. I'm not putting them in charge of certain things. Okay. Okay. Just because I love you and I like you, I mean, you might be only qualified for the big wheel brigade. Okay.
Right. The big wheel brigade. And I love my brothers and sisters. Don't get me wrong. That's why we decided not to speak negative on nobody. We only talking about the people who we think is great. And like Gail said, it's good to see the ghosts that prowl around our community to get votes, not knowing a lot of us are all well aware. And Michaela said, heavy on the not change, right?
Well,
so,
you know, I thought that Cheryl probably should have ran before.
yeah,
And
we all thought
yeah, you know, because she has the qualities for that position, man.
already.
The most important thing, brother, is not a person. I mean, even anybody that hasn't been in that seat before is going to go through a learning curve far as the system itself. Okay. Okay. I think anybody that with any type of average intellectual capacity could do that. They can you can grasp that learning curve. But what we need is we need a person who can communicate with the other side, because you can't be one speed either.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You can't go in there.
Work with these other council members, and they talk to her, they respect her. And like I said, Miss Weston shows up to pre-council. And sometimes some of the other city council members ain't even there when she's there.
Well, not only that, brother, you have to have some tact and some diplomacy as well, and you have to have some fair exchanges. Okay, some things we need to agree on because we got other things that we want them to support us on. Okay, so you have to have some wisdom and some diplomacy to have the tact in that area as well.
Right.
And you cannot be a doormat. You cannot be an obsequious clown when it comes to what is important to our community either.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Yes, I can make a deal with you on an issue that benefits you, that will mutually benefit my group on another issue. Okay. But there also there becomes a fault line, brother. Okay. Where it comes to our community, we don't get obsequious with that. Okay.
No.
Okay. We don't sit down and perform and be a firewall with the chief of police, brother, after they shoot our children while they're running from them. Okay.
Right.
Okay. We don't get all muffled mouth and scared when they come in the house and shoot our children in their underwear and they selling drugs because you made sure that they live in an economic prison.
Right.
Okay. And not only that, brother, the most important things that disqualifies you as a black leader, the number one thing, when you start telling black people from the liberal plantation what we want and what we need. No, we'll let you know what we need. Yeah. And we'll let you know what we want. And
Miss Weston is a registered independent, so she's on neither side. I'm a registered independent. So her whole focus is going to be on what we need as the people of North Omaha. But I do want to set something straight here. Let me remove this real quick. And let me drop this solo layout real quick. Okay. I'm gonna take the glasses off because that's how serious this is. Okay. I want y'all to listen and listen well. We're done playing bullshit games in North Omaha. If you are in the way, it's time for you to get out the way. I know people always say the elders need to pass the baton, but most of us wasn't even ready to hold a cup of water, let alone a baton. Okay. So there are elders who still work in this community that do things for us, and we love them and respect them. Like Elder Carl, to his dying day, he was there for us. Okay. But I'm telling you now, elder, young, old, it don't matter. You're running a campaign funded by white people, all that stuff, any of that stuff. We're done playing games. And this is our town. We're native to this land, and it's ours to give away. It's not yours. No elected official, non-elected official, nonprofits, all this game with the kids and the money and this grant and kiss my butt for grants and falling up under your stuff and being sunned by organizations just to make a difference in this town. I'm done with all that. I spent my whole year last year, first 48, I was 48. I called it first 48 because I showed up at every meeting to make sure y'all knew that we done playing your games. This year, there's new people in town. Precious, she said it good. We not for sale. We not for sale. It's always been a setup. We done playing your games. There's new people in town. All that old way of doing stuff and all that cooning and cloud smoke and trying to figure it out, that shit's done. Okay.
Well, another thing, brother Sherman, we need to put the term elder in its proper context. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because our cultural continuity has been broken up and severed. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we living under their systems and we crazy. We should be crazy. Okay. The people who are controlling us, they crazy. But anyway, okay. Before our cultural continuity and our whole concept of community and family was broken up and fragmented, an elder was an individual that would use their wisdom to give counsel and guidance to younger people so the younger people can lead.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the
Absolutely.
younger people could lead.
Yep.
Okay. Now, we don't really have within that true context of the word elder, we don't really have a lot of elders, brother. We have old people who are
Shamari just
going
said
through
it.
it, who are going through attrition.
Mm-hmm.
See, in order to be an elder, you have to continue to grow. You have to
Right.
have new ideas, and you have to also balance that with recognizing the precocious younger people amongst you that are emerging and seeing their leadership qualities.
Speak on it. Shamari says some elders, some aren't elders, they just elderly.
Exactly. They're just old people
Oh,
going through attrition. They're just withering away.
yeah.
Okay.
Precious said the elders we love because there is elders that give me a lot of information. I can listen to Ernie. I can listen to, like I said, Miss Weston is the one who keep me up to beat on what's going on at City Council. Those are elders, not just elderly. But there's some people, like Precious said, our elders we love, the gatekeepers, they got to go because they've learned the poverty pimp game. They've learned how to coon for the people and use data to get money and grants and then just pay their salaries and do absolutely nothing. So yeah, we know it now. And not only do we know it, but we speaking on it. And if you keep doing it, we coming to you.
But definitely, brother. We got a couple of variables. She hit it right on the nose, brother. We do need to remove the firewall of protection or the so-called gatekeepers. They got to go.
Yeah, Precious is on it. Yeah.
Yeah. They got to go, brother. Okay. Not only that, brother. I mean, it's gotten to the point to where now they're even taking this show on the road.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. And I'm not going to get into names, but when you can come up with data and numbers, I mean, brother, you can't take your data and your numbers. That's your personal propaganda. Okay.
Right.
And the community did not give you any permission to
do that.
collectively use your propaganda to define budgets and our relationship to the power structure.
Absolutely.
Okay. We didn't give you permission for that.
Not at all. And Tristan said we need to understand that we can learn from anybody and anyone. Just because someone is older don't mean they understand more. That's true. And it goes back to your point when you said an elder still got to stay progressive in their thoughts. So, and that's what we have to do. And Adrian, she write grants. She said Inspire 75 North Grant Services will find grant opportunities outside of local avenues created to provide another avenue to lift up our community. That's right. My ancestors made me stronger because during the riots, my dad stood out in the middle of 24th Street and explained to every last one of his 7 girls on what was going on. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I respect my elders. That's why when the stuff was happening with OHA and those elders was afraid to speak up, I spoke up. I don't live in those towers, but I went and talked to them, got all their stories, and then I spoke up for them until they found their own voice because I love my elders. Without them, we're nothing. And so I think that now we have to get to a point, like Precious said, removing the gatekeepers, love on our elders, the ones that want to see us prosper and that's offering the wisdom. But we have to remove the gatekeepers. And sometimes it might mean popping up in your office just like this. Because we done. Okay. We done. Miss Gail said very disappointed on some of the long time who called themselves for North Omaha. That's right, Gail. I'm with you, sister. Because you can't be for North Omaha, but then like Jahi said, you using our data, taking it on the road and saying that we working with the police and doing all this stuff, but that's not really true. The police is still terrorizing us to this day. She said, someone told me I was complaining about North Omaha and told me we have seen development in North Omaha. I was like, where? And this idiot said the Capital District. I walked out the room, right? And me and my wife and daughter, I took them to the On the Bone, Off the Bone, up there off on Maple. And we sitting outside and we looking at the district up and down the street in Benson, from dentists to taxes, anything you need in that area is right there in that Benson district. Why are we okay as North Omaha citizens to not have our own district where we can experience a taste of North Omaha every time we go to 24th Street, the designated area? But then we got people claiming that they've put so much money in there. And so this is what I want to do tomorrow. If y'all want to join me, and I'll post the time. We're going to walk up and down 24th Street and do a live, Michaela. And I would love for you to be with us. We want to go up and down 24th Street, look at the empty land, look at the empty buildings, look it up on the spot and see who owns it and what's holding us back from having a true business district. Okay. And like he said, we can't blame our politicians for the lack of economic development solely. Nope, we're not. It's not just the politicians. But when you are in a seat where like city council, where the money is moving around, why is there no money being directed? And even with Terrell, like you said, you can't blame him because he did go after the money, but the process of the money going into the business district just didn't happen. It didn't.
Well, brother, no, we can blame people when they move money, take our money and give it to other people. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
No, we can blame you when we catch you doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, for example,
politician or not. Yeah.
Yeah. For example, when we had 75 North, the first phase of 75 North was $100 million. They courted black contractors saying that the black community was going to get 35% of that. 35% of $100 million is $35 million. Did we get anything? We got nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. And we had a sitting city council president. Okay.
That.
All right. Who signed and dried ink on that deal.
Right.
All right. And I had to go get that person personally because they wasn't doing their job.
Right.
And not only that, that same person don't even want the word gentrification to roll out of his mouth.
Right.
Okay. And that's exactly what that was, brother. Okay. Phase 2, 75 North. What was it? Like 100 and... Oh, they went to Washington, D.C. to Donald Trump when he was in office, got $25 million from him, used our poverty as a coupon, showed Donald Trump and his administration that we some of the poorest niggas in America. He gave them $25 million. They brung it back here and leveraged it to an additional $175 million.
Yeah.
And we had to beg to work over there, brother.
Right.
It is absolutely asinine, brother. Is there any? Let's just pay attention to the context of the insanity of the conversations that we have with these people. Okay, do we ever have a conversation, brother, about us participating in any major projects in West Omaha?
No.
It's not even a conversation. We're not even in the context of the conversation about us economically benefiting from any major things happening in West Omaha. But why is we always have to have this conversation? And our politicians have to always remind us and insult us in the same breath, brother, and tell us, well, we had some black people, we had some minorities on this contract over here. Nigga, ain't we in our hood?
Right.
Isn't it already all ours?
Right.
So why are we having a context of a conversation about us being included in our own environment and being dominated in our own environment? Okay? And that's just building. And not only that, brother, okay? First of all, we need to clearly understand, brother, that when they shot Vivian Strong in the back of the head in 1969, the plan from the white power structure has been to move us out of here economically.
Right.
Okay? To remove our population from North Omaha, period, to extend Creighton and make North Omaha white.
Man,
Us not being here. And
no.
so since then, brother, what have the black population been doing in North Omaha? We've been fleeing due to economic flight. If you're a professional, you're skilled or whatever, and you're college educated, you got to get up out of here.
Yep.
Okay? That's what's been happening. Okay? So we need to be clearly understand. That's why we don't need soft-toed people that give us this fairy tale dust show that things are better in Omaha. And then they tell you about billions of dollars. And then they show you the infrastructure of buildings that white people own.
Right.
In our community. In our
Right.
space.
And he made a point too. That's why Section 8 housing is no longer in the North Omaha. They shifting that out west. Right. 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 And so what they need to understand is all that old stuff that they used to dealing with and people not saying nothing and everybody just going with the flow, that shit's done. We're paying attention. We're watching, young and old. We all watching. We paying attention, and we not allowing it no more. And so make sure y'all get out this Tuesday and vote. And he said, raise the awareness. You can never know what you aren't aware of. That's right. And that's why I was talking about Miss Weston, because people may not be aware, but if you just do a quick Google search of her name, you will find that this woman has been advocating for North Omaha, not just socially, financially, and environmentally. She's been doing it for years. And the reason why she jumped in the race, when I asked her, why'd you wait until 3 days before? She said, because God came to her and told her, you need to jump in this race. Because this next 4 years is going to be critical for us. And then after that, maybe 4 years later, somebody else can run that'll be seasoned up. I might even jump in there by then, you know.
Well, and not only that, brother, but we need to put together
that's right.
a system, brother, where we can prepare and vet people.
Yep.
For all the positions that we need.
Yeah.
Instead of us doing the rolling the dice with someone. Oh, well, he or she sounds articulate. They sound smart. That doesn't mean that they're equipped for the job.
That's right. What do you know about the job? What do you understand what the council is? And I know a lot of people is running and they have platforms on things that that doesn't involve really city council. So I mean, I get that you're passionate about stuff, but some of the stuff that people are talking about, city council have nothing about. And Michaela, yeah, you might be the next one in 4 years, girl. When you talking about okay. But yeah, like my wife said, get out and vote. Miss Gail said, take back what's ours. And Damon said they can't own it unless we sell it, which is true. They can't own it unless we sell it. And the problem is we can't own it unless they sell it to us. And so when y'all notice, when we do this 24th Street thing, y'all gonna see, I already know who own a lot of that stuff, but I want y'all to see that the majority of that stuff is owned by one person. And we're gonna expose that on tomorrow, hopefully, if the weather is cooperating. Yeah, if the weather is cooperating. Michaela said education on the ins and outs of the systems and training up to individuals to run office. That's right. Yep. NOCP, a 5-year plan, train and prepare people for the positions like the Republicans do. That's right. We got to train and prepare people. And Miss Stacy giving all flames. That's right, Miss Stacy, because that Miss Stacy is a firm believer. And I would support Miss Stacy if she ran for anything, because she's been providing people with a place to have their business grow. You can start off with the essential kitchen, the essential shop, and she got an essential food truck. Come on now. If you got the business structure, you can use all of those things to get your stuff jumping before you have to even invest in it. Okay. All right. So we about to get ready to get out of here, and we're going to do another live. Hopefully tomorrow, if the weather cooperate, we'll be on 24th Street, going up and down there. When you expose that tomorrow, can you tag me, because I'll be out working, jump off the register. Yep, that's all good. Yep. Precious said all these city she said all these city project contracts should be going to small emerging businesses, like just like you said, which is supposed to help local small business and contractors have been going to Swain construction. So it's keeping our community out of these projects. That's right. The city owns a lot of it and then rolls it up to the Buffetts. Woo! Don't get Jahi started on the Buffetts because it'll be a buffet over here. I got in trouble for making that. I made that little meme, which was Susie and her daddy, and then it was a cage, and it said North Omaha nonprofits in the cage. So they didn't like that. I was told by people that it was distasteful, but it's okay. We're gonna stay focused, like Ms. Jefferson said, and go forward and get out and vote Tuesday. Tuesday is the vote. Get out and vote Tuesday. And like I said, who we are endorsing, as far as like we think the number one candidate, one is Miss Weston, 2 is Brother Mike Lee, and 3 is Brother William King. Okay. All right, y'all. Piece of hair grease. We getting out of here. We love y'all, and y'all have a blessed day.